السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Oh, وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
بس
السلام ورحمة
for
الله.
reasonable Rizvi, يا أخي, we got to give him like 25 minutes. Yeah.
It's only reasonable.
Yeah, bro, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you straight up.
Much love, bro. Much love, يا أخي.
Amazing. It's an honor to talk to you, honestly. I know we had some back and forth on like YouTube and Twitter and stuff, but I saw Super Omar, he sent a message and he said that you guys are having a stream, so I was like, I have to join this thing.
Appreciate you being here, man.
By the way, is this going on YouTube?
Yeah, we're actually live on YouTube right now.
You
And it's
want
like
to say,
one of those.
you
It's
want
one
to
of
say
those
hi to your mom?
streams. Say what?
Do you want to say hi to your mom?
So,
Hi, Mom.
so like usually with my streams, I take them down after, when a stream's done, I usually take it down. But unless, Wissam get crushed extremely badly, really badly to the point that you have to like leave the internet, this thing is most likely going to stay outside.
Okay. So yeah, I had, I guess, a few thoughts, or like maybe I guess to discuss with you on certain topics.
Yeah.
The first is that, do you really think that we can say that Sunni Islam is like the right Islam and Shia Islam is the wrong Islam?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think it's a bit more like, honestly, after doing a lot of research, I feel like there's some aspects in which Sunni Islam got it more right, and some aspects in which Shia Islam got it more right.
Okay.
What do you have to say on that?
It depends on, it actually like I've actually seen some criticisms by Shias that are not like fundamental criticisms that would completely change Sunnism, but like they would criticize Sunnis in some specific aspects, and I'd look into it. And
Rizvi, can you mute your mic while Farid's talking, because there's a lot of background.
Yeah, so I would actually find truth in some statements. I'd find like some arguments to be convincing, which is like the benefit of having these discussions. But again, like they're not fundamental points. They're not something that would make me decide to become a Shia or anything like that. But I would find truth in some arguments brought over by Shias. Perhaps not the best idea to go through these right now, but reasonable Rizvi, if you don't mind, I'd like to pitch a question to you.
Sure.
What do you believe is the best case for the existence of Muhammad bin Hassan al-Askari, if you actually believe in Muhammad bin Hassan al-Askari being alive today?
So the best proof that he is alive today?
That he was born, that he lived, and he's still alive.
I think the best proof that I have come across is those hadiths about the 12 khulafa. There's a particular version of them which says that, or maybe the most famous one too, where it says that this affair of the ummah will not end until there have been 12 khulafa, or until the day of judgment comes about. So this is one version of them. And I think the Arabic is that ila an is the part where it says that either or. So either the 12 have come about, 12 have passed, or the day of judgment comes. So the interpretation that I'm referring to is one by Sayyid. Let me just hold up. Let me just bring it up. It's by a certain scholar, Shia polemicist. He is right here. 1 second. He says that this shows that.
So a Sunni hadith.
Yeah. It's a Sunni hadith. Yeah.
Right. That's the best reason.
Yeah.
So my problem with
well,
that.
I mean, look. Personally, I don't make as a Shia Muslim, like Sunni hadith doesn't necessarily mean like it's something less now automatically. Right. So yeah, there's Sunni hadiths, and some even some aspects of Shia Islam are more substantiated through what are now considered Sunni hadiths.
I just want to comment. I just want to comment really briefly. Like the mod is so on task that he's actually put the screenshot up. You know, it's not like I thought that Reasonable Rizvi was the guy who put the screenshot up. I was like, man, this guy came prepared. It turns out like the mod is like, I don't know, man. He's like an agent against us or something, bro. He's like showing the
Like, yeah, there you go. Get him, cook him, Rizvi.
well, it's mod's trying to bury us. Yeah, it's his first day on the job, and he's already like.
Cook.
So, Akhi, the thing is, yeah, Rizvi,
Yeah.
it's a prophecy. So this is a prophecy, right?
Mm-hmm.
A prophecy isn't proof for the existence of someone.
Well, the argument that he made, I'm still trying to figure out who it was. His, let's see. Oh yeah, it's Sayyid Ali. Abul Hassan. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, of course. But Akhi, it's this is not proof that he existed.
It's not proof that that the son of that Hassan al-Askari had a son.
Yeah. So I'm
I agree with you on that.
I'm asking specifically about proof of the existence of a person, and prophecy is not the way. Prophecy is not the way to prove that someone existed. If you have to rely on prophecy for the existence of a historical character or a historical personality, that's a problem.
You're just gonna keep waiting.
It's a problem, man. It's a problem because if you're going to say, what's the proof for the existence of Muhammad, peace be upon him, I'm not going to say, well, if Deuteronomy 18, right?
That's a different. Yeah, it's a different topic. Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts, Rizvi?
Rizvi, how like acquainted are you with the Quran? Like, do you read it every day? You study it?
No. What's please, bro. This topic,
No.
I'd rather, if you don't mind,
No problem. Oh yeah.
Honestly, but yeah. So regarding the proof that Hassan al-Askari had a son,
yeah.
I didn't really do a lot of research in this, but the little that I did, I couldn't come across some really, to me, according to my standards, some really convincing, solid proof, or tawatur or something like that Hassan al-Askari had a son. And I've even talked to other Shia Muslims about this, and I didn't really get something very convincing for the fact proving that Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam had a son. But I feel like, to be honest, look, my perspective on this is that this idea that he had a son, honestly, for us living in the 21st century as Shia Muslims that are descendants of many generations after that event, it would be really hard, honestly, to come up with really hard evidence that this man over there had a son or didn't have a son.
So the strongest evidence is preserved by these authors from the 3rd century. Excuse me. Well, yeah, actually, even 3rd century, 4th century, 5th century, they're supposed to have the evidence. Forget about anyone coming after Al-Qusi. You have Kamal al-Din by Ibn Babawayh, Saduq. You got Kitab al-Ghaiba by Al-Qusi. You got Kitab al-Ghaiba by Nu'mani. You even have Al-Kafi. Those works, they're early enough. Al-Kulayni is contemporaneous to the actual Sufara, the agents or the emissaries of Muhammad bin Hassan al-Askari. There should be strong proof. And it's a major problem to have Shi'is today believing an infallible, guided Imam that's appointed by Allah, that's been alive for 1,200 years, and he's just nowhere to be found, and he's inaccessible. It's an unreasonable belief.
I wouldn't say it's an unreasonable belief. I would just you can't Just because it sounds preposterous, or like not preposterous, but it sounds like, out of the ordinary, doesn't mean we should reject it or like be less likely to believe in it. I think we should just withhold judgment, maybe at most,
Let
right?
me correct
Like the age of Prophet Noah and stuff.
Very good.
Right?
Very good. Very good. And so let me correct myself. Him being alive for that long, sorry about that. Him being alive for that long isn't the unreasonable belief. The unreasonable belief is believing that someone was alive for that long, even though there's insufficient proof of his existence. That's the problem.
Yeah,
So
like with Nuh, he'd be a kafir if you didn't think he lived that long.
if you're a Muslim, you got to believe in Nuh being that alive for that long. If you believe in the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, naturally you're going to believe that Isa alayhi salam is raised by Allah and he's been alive for that long. But with Muhammad Hasan Askari, there's insufficient proof of his existence in the first place. So you should not be believing in someone if you can't prove that he's ever existed. And there are multiple reasons why you shouldn't believe that he existed. One of the main ones is that the people that argued for his existence are people that literally collected money in his name.
Okay, I feel like that's not a good reason to reject his existence. But in
Why
any
not?
case, I would like to just say something quickly, which is that I feel like the early like Shia arguments for his existence were not necessarily like historical evidence specifically of that Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam had a son, like like actual maybe documented proof or witnesses of his birth or stuff like
So
that. It wasn't like that. It was more like
I'm a layman when it comes to this. So there's no evidence that his father gave birth to him.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that
No, I'm asking
Mo-
Farid.
the-
Like there's no evidence that he was born.
That's my view.
Damn.
I mean,
And the
yeah,
views of
that's what the Sunnis believe. Shias obviously they believe differently.
most Shi'is actually did not believe in his existence. And there's an important statement by Nu'mani in Al-Ghaiba where he says that we're a small minority that still hold on to this belief. It's interesting because that's the 4th century. And then with time, the other sects died out, and the Twelver view that believed in Muhammad Hasan Askari, they turned into the majority. But
To be
yeah,
fair, I feel like the main argument that the Twelvers used to establish his existence has to
Yeah.
do with okay, these were the 11 imams in succession who were all the imams appointed by God, divinely appointed, and then they were expecting that there will be 12 according to that hadith, and the last of them will be the Hujjah, and then after Hassan al-Askari, sure there was no apparent imam. So, but from that, they argued that okay, that's the proof that he had to have had a son, because we need 12 consecutive khulafa as implied by Prophet Muhammad's prophecy. That is how they substantiated the son of Hassan al-Askari as the imam.
Yeah, that's definitely something that some of them did. But you know that when Hassan Askari passed away, you had 13 different Shi'i sects emerging because they just had no idea what to do. Some of them actually believed in Ja'far. They're like, okay, the Imam transferred to the brother, even though like they had major issues with the brother. Some of them like accepted him. Some of them disbelieved in Hassan Askari. They're like, Hassan Askari has no son, therefore we need to stop believing in Hassan Askari. But again, yeah, this is related to prophecy, and that's a major problem. In order to establish someone's existence, you're not supposed to go to prophecy. The easiest thing to do is prove the historical evidence for the existence of a historical personality. That's the easiest thing to do. For you to go to prophecy is a problem. But okay, I asked you earlier. I said the main people that are proof for his existence are the khums collectors, the agents that are collecting money. And you said that's not a problem. Why is that not a problem? Because I mean, they have a major motivation to call people to Muhammad Hasan Askari, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you could even say that for maybe like Prophet Muhammad, or like, that he had a motivation
Right.
to start a new religion because he gained a lot of benefits from it, or like, that's what I'm saying, that just because we
You
can
can't, bro, you
see a
can't do that.
potential benefit doesn't
You
mean the
can't do that
idea
with
is wrong.
Rasulullah. I'm sorry, bro. You can't do that with Rasulullah. Go ahead. You can try.
I'm saying like we could, like, anyone making a claim, if the person even remotely benefits, if the person benefits from it, then suddenly we can doubt that claim.
Definitely, Akhi, the main people benefiting from the existence of Muhammad bin Hassan Askari are the agents that are collecting money in his name, and they're the proof of his existence. Imagine this, yeah. Imagine, like an imam says to you, the proof that I'm an imam is my father appointed me. Like, isn't that a problem? We're supposed to go to his father directly, right? We're supposed to go to the father directly. The father appoints the son, right? But in this case, we're having the imam appoint himself by saying, my father appointed me. This wouldn't fly in Shiism. Similarly here, we have Uthman bin Sa'id saying, the proof of Muhammad bin Hassan Askari existing is, I saw him. Now give me your money and I'll give you the money that you give me. He exists, by the way. Isn't that suspicious?
Sure, if you put it that way, it does
Yeah,
sound
man.
suspicious.
Something to think about, Akhi.
Yeah, but at the same time, can we not consider the possibility that they were their appointed representatives of somebody, and they're not lying, and they are actually just collecting khums?
You know what you'd have? You know what I would like? I would like people that are impartial, that were not collecting khums, to have seen Muhammad bin Hassan Askari. I would like evidence of family members affirming his existence. Instead, we have some family members denying his existence. We have, yani, of course, even like the Abbasid government being brought into it in order to resolve an inheritance dispute. They have a concubine, or let's not use the word concubine. We have like a slave of Al Hassan Askari being imprisoned for a couple of years because she claimed that she had the baby, and then she turned out to have nothing. So yeah, there are too many problems with this claim, bro.
I don't think there's problems, but maybe there's a lack of evidence. The most we can do is withhold judgment.
Yeah,
And in any case, his existence, though, as Imam Mahdi, is fully established, regardless of whether he was Hassan al-Askari's son or whether he's going to come in the future. Both Sunnis and Shias agree that there is an Imam Mahdi and he is going to come, right?
sure, of course. Yeah, actually, of course. Like, I have no issues with that. My only issue is you seem to be believing in the existence of an individual without sufficient proof, and due to that, you're believing in him for 1,200 years. So that's, in my belief, a problem. I mean, you've admitted you haven't looked too deep into it, right?
Yeah. I tried to get, like, I asked some people that I knew that would know more about it than me,
Yeah.
and they showed me like maybe like a few like tree diagrams of like the hadiths about his birth, but they seem to converge into like just a few points, and it wasn't really like it wasn't really tabatur, anything like, for example, like the hadith of Ghadir. It's like no
Yeah.
comparison.
No, not even close. Yeah, not even close. And
Yeah.
again, when I looked into it, the main folks are the khums collectors, man, and that troubles me.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Wissam?
Totally new information to me, to be honest.
It's ajib, huh? It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because like we have evidence that like Ibn Umar was born, right? Like let alone an infallible imam. We have,
Okay, now that's easy. Okay, that's not fair. That's easy. Ibn Umar is easy because uh, like at that time, like the Hassan Askari
No, I
was
mean, like
under house
we have,
arrest. That
we
guy
have.
was under house arrest. He was persecuted, and
Who
there
you
were some very like they weren't very amenable situations for historical documentation.
who are you talking about?
Are you talking about like Ibn Umar? Like you're saying that for him, there's good historical proof. The
Are
son
you
of Umar bin Khattab.
Yeah. But are you saying that Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Askari, he was under persecution and stuff?
No. Hassan al-Askari.
Yeah. So it's not. We're not asking for like large like chunks of biographical information. From what I understand, there's no evidence that he even existed. So I'm not saying that you should have as much biographical information as Ibn Umar. I'm saying at least he was born, people saw him, they corroborated that they saw him, and that, I think
Another,
regardless of persecution, you should be
Wissam,
able to prove at least that.
on the topic of persecution, if you look into the classical scholars and their statements, all of them say that Muhammad bin Hassan Askari is hidden out of fear of being killed. They all say that, implying that the Abbasid government are out to get him. There's no Abbasid government anymore. Yeah, he's supposed to be available. He's supposed to be accessible. There's no reason for him to not be accessible.
Yeah, that's true. And why would he be afraid anyway? Like, to be honest, that's a bigger story, but about like wilayah takwini and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't think reasonable Rizvi like falls into would
He
be
doesn't?
open to wilayah takwini. Yeah, bro, he's a reasonable guy.
Yeah, because you know
Yeah.
when Christians say, you know, Jesus had to run away because they were gonna kill him, and I'm like, but you also believe he's God, right? Like he was afraid of some stones that he couldn't really stop them in midair. He had to be very. This is how they kind of justify the gospel according to Mark of being very secretive about his messianic identity. So he was afraid that he was going to be stoned by the Pharisees. I'm like, why would the Son of God be afraid of anything?
Reasonable Rizvi, Akhi, I'd love to continue this some other time. We got so many folks like down there, and I was like 5 minutes for Muslims, but yeah, and I had to make an exception for you, bro. But inshallah, we can continue later, and hopefully this has given you something to think about.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on here. I would love
Habibi.
to talk more about like Quran and okay, for me the strongest piece of Shia Islam that I think has an advantage over Sunni Islam is the permissibility of mut'a marriage, which is and I substantiate that through verse 24 of Surah An-Nisa. So I would love to talk to you more about that if it's possible. Maybe after a few other people, I don't know.
Maybe, inshallah.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get through. And that was the mod, by the way. That was not me pushing you down. If I'm assuming the mod pushed you down, but yeah, like if we get to you again, yeah, mod is like, yeah, it was me. Yeah, inshallah, if we get to you again, I don't mind going through that with you. Barakallah fiqh, ya reasonable Rizvi. Thank you for the conversation, bro.